manasi pratishthitam mano me vachi pratishthitam aviravirma edhi vedasyama anistha shrutam me ma prahasi anena dhitena horatran samdadhami ritam vadishyami satyam vadishyami tanmamavatu tadvaktaramavatu avatu mam avatu vaktaram avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right, we are number 6. Agnir devebhih manushascha jantubhih tanvanah yajnam purupesha samdhiya radhir antariyate sadhat ishtibhih jirodamuna abhishasti chatanah. The fire with the gods and creatures born builds by the thought of man the sacrifice in its many forms. He moves between earth and heaven as their charioteer, bearing them to the achievement of their desires. He is the swift in motion, and he is a dweller in the house who drives off every assailant.
Vladimir, could you please expand, increase the size? It's difficult for even me to see. Yeah, thank you.
Right. So, Agni devebhih manushascha jantubhih. So, with gods and with the creatures, jantus, of from Manus, from the Manu, who is our kind of the mental framework for humanity. So he, with these two, with the gods and human beings who bear the mentality, tanvanach, spreading yajnam, the sacrifice, pulls or extends the yajnam in time and space, purupeshasam, decorated or adorned in many different ways by the thought, by the higher concentration, I'm just going word by word. Rathi, the charioteer, antariyate, moves in between the two firmaments, usually moves in between the two. Sadhat, leading towards the goal. Ishtibhih, by the ishtis. Ishti can be desired things, or ishti can be by the sacrifices. Because Ishta is the PPP part, participle passive voice from the root yaj. So by the sacrificed or by the offerings made, he leads to the goal or to the fulfillment, these two between which he moves, yeah? As a charioteer. In his chariot, he moves between heaven and earth and leads them both to their fulfillment. Jirach, a swift, Damuna, settled in the house, domiciled. Abhishasti Chatanach, removing every Abhishasti. Abhishasti is generally translated as curse, but literally Shasti from root Shas, Shamsati, is to praise. Abhishasti, to praise kind of against, or to praise um, around, even around against. So means kind of cursing or creating troubles, trouble or curse. So my interpretation, Agni with gods and living creatures of Manu, is extending the sacrifice by the thought in many beautiful ways. He moves in between the two worlds as a charioteer, driving them to their fulfillment with his, our sacrifices, something which was offered to Agni or through Agni to the gods. Swift in his movement, seated in our house, he removes all the troubles, all the curses. These are very typical for the Vedic thinking. Swift in his movement and seated, situated. Yeah? So both, he's situated and swift. It gives us the full kind of picture of his capacities. And then number 7, Agni, Jarasva Suapatya Ayuna Ayuni, Urja Pinvasva Samisho Didihinach Vayansi Jinva Brihatascha Jagrava Ushik Devanam Asi Sukratuh Vipam. I'm adding here sometimes these padapathas are split into the words. You see, each word is separately. Sometimes sandhis make it difficult to decide what was soapatyach. It could be soapatyach or soapatye by sandhi. So I need padapatha to show me that it was the locative case and not nominative. Yeah, otherwise we don't know. Simply, we can't decide. Only padapatha can help us. That's why when they study or learn these texts by heart, they learn in Kramapatha, in Mantrapatha, as mantra sounds it, and then Kramapatha in different selections of the words, in different order of the words, and Padapatha, which is giving each word separately standing. Without Padapatha, sometimes it's impossible to translate properly. O fire, come near to us. That's how Sri Aurobindo translates Jarasva. Come near to us in a life rich with offspring, Suapatye. Nourish us with energy, Urja Pinvasva. By the Urja Pinvasva. Illuminate our impulsions. Didihi Samishach Nach. Ish is impulsion, some ish is even more. Maybe some can belong also to some didihi. Illumine totally our impulsions, or our all impulsions illumine. Depends where we put that some. Animate in us the extending power of the vast. Vayansi Jinvad, animate, make alive, enliven. Vayansi, extensions. Vayas is the age, from root V to weave, the same etymology. It's a tapestry which is woven by the thread of life through time and space. And that's what we call the age. Our age is that kind of tapestry we weave through our life. Yeah? So these vayansi, that is sometimes energy or sometimes extension of life. So here he translates animate in us the expanding powers, brihatascha, of the vast. I translate a bit different because of this cha here. Vayansi jiva brihatascha jagriva, sorry. So, a wakeful flame, jagriva. It's, you see, jagrive. We would never know that it is vocative. Well, we know because there is no stress, but jagrive is from jagrivi. Jagrivi is nominative and jagrive is the vocative. Ushik devanam. Shivendra translates Ushik as thou art the aspirant strong in will. All strong in will sukratu, but the aspirant is Ushik. Ushik is the priest, Ushij, from root ush, to want, to desire, to aspire. So Shobhanta translates the priest as aspirant. You are the aspirant of the gods, Devanam, Asi, you are. And Sukratuch Vipam. Vip is the illumined seer. No, Vipra or Vip, from root Vip, to tremble with ecstasy. Vepathu, also, there is another word of trembling in ecstasy. And Vipu, also. There are many words from root Vip. It's a Vedic word, yeah? You will not find it common in this classical Sanskrit. So my translation is, I think, more literal. Or Agni, wake up, Jarasva, to the giving of life, Suapatye, in the giving of life, literally. Why giving of life? Ayuni, from Ayu, life, locative, and Suapatye, which is charged with perfect action or perfect offspring. In the perfect offspring life force, you awaken, literally. Yeah? Wake up to the giving of life with perfect offspring. Perfect offspring or perfect action is usually the future-oriented results, so future realizations. Offspring is always something which moves forward in time. And many times this word offspring is used not only for the progeny of our children, but also for the results of our activities. What we do should have consequences, results in the future, should have continuation in the future. Charge us. You are your energy, with your energy. Sorry, this is something happened here. Charge us with, I don't know how it changed by itself. Charge us with your energy, illumine all our impulsions, intentions, actions. So it's quite straightforward. Enliven our expansions, buoyancy in time and space, and that of greatness. I translate it as separate, brihatascha, because of this cha, and of the greatness. So illumine our lifespan and that which goes beyond, yes, which goes into the transcendental of greatness. Ovakul flame, Jagreve, you are Ushij, the aspirant, aspiring force of the gods and perfect willpower of the seers.
Vladimir,
Yes.
the Jaraswa, I guess that's not the one of the aging one. So
Yes,
is that the?
it
It
is.
is.
It is.
It is.
Jri has two meanings too, and from here Jagrivya and Jagriva is from Jagri, yes, from Gri, Jri. They are kindred roots. And from here you have all these interesting words like gear, even voice, and waking and getting old and even moving. Sri Aurobindo translates come near to us. There are these kindred roots with jiri giri, which have some very interesting kind of field of application, yeah, contextual meanings. Even glass, the voice, gear, yeah, to voice, to wake up, most probably waking and voicing are somehow related in the mind of the rishis, yeah. And also wearing out, becoming worn out, that means getting old, because being active. So these are contextual applications which generated these meanings of getting old, and waking up, and voicing. If you think deeper, you will find where they connect to the root, kindred root.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And the pin was for because it's Atmanepada. I mean, could
Mhm.
it mean that Agni should
Yes,
himself
it could be.
go?
Sri Aurobindo here, yes, translates as active. Yes, you're right. You see, Elzarenko translates it become fat, become full of energy yourself, not feed us with energy. Because of Atmanepadam, correct. So I guess it can be both, yes, kind of feel, kind of become full of energy in us, you can say, uh,
Right.
in our life span, which has the future offspring. Mm. And because illumine us next, yeah, illumine our activities. That means it's somehow meaningfully related to us, even if he is himself becoming full of energy, but in us.
Yeah.
Most probably that's why Sri Aurobindo doesn't bother to go that way. Right. And then number 8. Vishpatim Yahvam Atithim Narach Sada Yantaram Dhinam Ushijam Cha Vaghatam Advaranam Chetanam Jata Vedasam Prashamsanti Namasa Juti Bhih Vridhe. Man ever with obeisance, with swift urgings, give expression for their growth to the knower of all births, the mighty one, the Lord of the peoples, the guest, the driver of our thoughts, the aspirant in those who speak the word. This is so beautiful. The aspirant in those who speak the word, the wakener to consciousness in the pilgrim sacrifice. Sri Aurobindo coins new words, awakener. These are all epithets. Yeah? The Lord of the people, Vishpati. Vish is from root Vish, actually, to enter, because Vish is Vaishya from here, people, is actually from the root to enter. We are all souls who entered into this manifestation, and we are the people. People to people also, to populate, yeah, to dwell. We are population. So to say, we entered into this manifestation, and he is the Lord of all those who enter. Yahman, him as the ever young, full of energy, guest, Atithim, Narach, the man always praise, prashamsanti sada. As a ruler, prashamsanti is in another line, yes, here. And sada is here. Sada, yantaram, and then prashamsati comes in the next line. Sada prashamsanti yantaram, as the ruler, dhihinam, of the higher thoughts, of the dhis. Ushijam, as the ushij, or the aspirant of the priests, Bhagavatam, singing hymns. Shibindra translates as much more beautiful. Those who speak the word, aspirant in those who speak the word. Advaranam Chetanam, the consciousness of all the Advaras. Advara is the pilgrim sacrifice. Jata Vedasam, the one who knows all the births. Prashamsanti, the man prays constantly, always, namasa, with obeisance. Jutibhih, and with speeding up, vridhe, for the growth. Now, the speeding up, interesting, increasing their intensity or speed for the growth. So the intensity is to be increased. You cannot do it with the same intensity all the time. Yeah? So you will have to, why Juti Bhih? Interesting word. Namasa Juti Bhih Vriddhe. Juti Bhih Vriddhe is like one phrase. Speeding with speeds for growth. Vriddhe is dative case from Vridh. These roots in Sanskrit, in Vedic Sanskrit, are used as with dative. Simple root with dative is like an infinitive in classical Sanskrit. Yeah, to grow. Actually, it shows very archaic form of language. Yeah? You take root and put it into dative case, and you have infinitive. Very simple for growth, because growing is vrid. Yeah? You take the root, and directly with dative case, you already have the meaning. Vibhava devak suranach parikshitih agnir babhuva shavasa sumadrathach tasya vratani bhuri poshino vayam upabhushema dama asovrktibhih. Fire, the white shining Godhead, joyful in his happy chariot, has enveloped in his might our abodes. With complete purification may we obey in the house the laws of work of this giver of our manifold increase. These are very complex meanings. Our mind is not capable of handling them at once. Yes, we need to go back and dwell again and again until it is becoming clear what is meant to be. So vibhava, shining vast, or with this vast flaming or light. Vibha, light, V, vast, light, Va is one. Yes, the possessor of the vast light, literally. White shining Godhead. Devach, Suranach, perfect in battle. Rana is battle, Suranach is the compositor. Parikshitich, around all the kshitis. Kshitis can be our dwellings, or even those who dwell, peoples, around the peoples or around the dwellings. Agni babhuva, Agni became, Shavasa by his force, Sumadrathach with his perfect chariot, enveloped all the dwellings. Yeah. God shining white, perfect in battle, surrounded all our dwellings by his power in his happy chariot. We would like, or may we serve or become the movements of the nourisher or fulfiller with our perfect hymns in our dwelling. This is my interpretation. There are possible different readings. Yes, Shobinto gives notes. Has enveloped in his might our abodes, or the worlds of our habitation, which is very close to it. And the second one, may we obey, he translates also possible as may we approach with reverence. Bhushema. The word Bhushema is quite interesting. I believe that it is the desertative, ancient desertative form, which is not reduplicative from root bhu. This happens that some ancient forms are not always reduplicative, especially for desertative, like we have another shiksha from shiksh, from shak, not reduplicated, bhush. And if you look into the meaning of bhush, because bhu is to become, and bhush would have a meaning to strive after, literally to want to become, to use efforts for, to be intent upon, yes, to seek, to procure. This is interesting because this is the desertative meaning of becoming. Wanting to become, wanting to be. So it's kind of, that's why I say, may we become the movements directly, vratani, the movements or the actions or the laws of actions of the Agni, of the nourisher, of Bhuri Poshinach. This is genitive case, of the one who is portion, who is feeding or nourishing or fulfilling all or many, of the one who fulfills many, of his, for may we become his actions. It's even more direct, beautiful. We would like to serve or to become the movements of the nourisher or fulfiller with our perfect hymns, suvrikti bihich, in our dwellings, dame, in the house. Now, suvrikti is interesting also. It's actually from rich, and su rich introduced this v there and can be confusing from root vrich. Yeah, it's not vrij, it's rich, rig Veda. So su rikti bih, with the words, with the hymns of the Rig Veda perfectly spoken. I'm doing these references to grammar for the students of grammar here. There are 3 of them, or more even. So it's kind of interesting to know, to notice these things. And then Vaishvanara Tavadhamani Yachake Dhamani Achake, yes, if it's split. Yebhich Suvarvid Abhavach Vichakshana Jatach Aprinach Bhuvanani Rodasi Agne Ta Vishva Paribhur Asi Tmana. O universal Godhead, Vaishvanara, I desire thy lights, by which thou becomest, O all-seeing, the knower of the sun world. Now, Tava Dhamani, Dhamani Achake. Achake is I desire, I want, I adore, I love. I love your dhamani. Your actually dhamma is the dwellings, realms. Interesting is Sri Aurobindo puts lights, and then he has a reference here, seats or planes. But he thinks about lights, or maybe luminous planes as lights. So, Tava, your dhamani, your realms, yes. I adore Achake, by which you become a discoverer of the sun world. Yebhich, literally, by which. Sovarvid abhavach. You become Sovarvid, the knower of Svar, of the sun world. Vichakshana. Vichakshana, Sri Aurobindo usually translates as all-seeing, or vi, vast, chaksh, seeing. Seeing vast. Here is the vocative case. Jatach, being born. Born, aprenach, you covered or fulfilled. Bhuvanani, all the worlds. Roda, sea, and two firmaments means heaven and earth. Or Agni, Agne. Tach, Vishvach, all these, sorry, not Tach Vishvach, Ta Vishva, Tani Vishvani Bhuvanani, this is neuter. Paribhuhasi, you enveloped from all sides, Tmana, by yourself. Now, Tman is the Vedic word for Atman in the classical Sanskrit, yes? In the classical, you will not find Tman anymore, but in Vedic, it is very often. Not Atman, but Tman, because A is the prefix, and Tman is actually the basic word. And this word Atman is misread, misinterpreted by even Indian tradition. They think that it is from the root an, to breathe. It is not from the root an. From the root an, Tman will never happen, or Atman. Cannot be. N has to be there. Yeah? Why T suddenly with M, which is so unnatural? And I think it is from root tam, which lost its A because the stress is after tma, taman. So tam is actually coagulating, making it solid, making it a self, yeah? Some separate solid being. From here, tamas, darkness. From here, tamas is tamas guna, yes? Immobile. So I think it is rather from root tam, which makes the idea of the self. And in the Veda, Tman is the body, yeah? Something solid, something in itself immobile. Okay, we go forward. And the last verse, and here we finish our hymn. Vaishvanarasya damsanabhyach damsanabhyo brihat arinat ekach suvapatyasya, no, svapasyaya, suapasyaya kavih. I have to deconstruct. Suapasyaya kavih. Arinat ekak suapasyaya kavih ubha pitara Mahayan Jayata Agnir Dyava Prithivi Bhuri Retasa. Now we can hear the meter. So of Vaishvanara, fire, the one seer by his seeking for perfect works released out of the actions of the universal Godhead, the vast, the fire greatening both the parents, earth and heaven, was born from a mighty seed. Now, there are many footnotes here. Perfect works, from the perfect works, by the seeking for perfect works. That's how he. Interesting. He translates it in the instrumental. Let me read mine, which is more first mine, and then, because this verse is difficult. The one poet, Ekach Kavich, by his perfect action, su apasya yaya, apasya ya. So su apasya is the perfect action. So apasyaya is the instrumental. By his perfect action, the one kavi, arinat, vacated or emptied or released brehat, the vastness. From where? From damsanas biach, from damsana. Damsana is the skillful action of whom? Of Vaishvanara. So from the skillful activities or perfect activities or creative activities of Vaishvanara, the one poet with his perfect action released the vastness. Ubhapitara, and both parents, Mahayan, made great. Ajayata, born, making great when he was born. Agni Dyava Prathivi Bhuri Retasa, by the vast and powerful stream he made heaven and earth great. Now the Retas is translated as seed, but it is from re root, and from basic re root to flow. Retas is also a flow, yeah, a stream, very powerful stream. And that is associated with casting the seed. Casting the seed is also a stream, very strong. So in a way, from here, this idea of the seed, but originally it is the stream, the flood, the flow, the current. So the one poet, by his perfect action, released out of skillfully performed actions of Vaishvanara the vastness. Being born, he made both parents great, heaven and earth, Agni, by his mighty seed, or by his mighty flood or current. Now I will read Sri Aurobindo's and it will be easier. Fire, the one seer, by his seeking for perfect works, released out of the actions of the universal Godhead, the vast, the fire, greatening both the parents, earth and heaven, was born from a mighty seed. Perfect works, damsana, bhyach, yes, or his skill in works, which is very close to it. And then there are another footnote, out of the actions, released out of the actions, or that is damsana, of the actions, detached from the actions, because it's ablative case. By his skilled works is suapasyaya. And number 5 is mighty seed, or the fire was born, greatening both parents, earth and heaven, with his mighty steam. What is this? It's some kind of stream, most probably, yeah? It's a misprint in the book because I copied from the book. Steam cannot be from Retas. Can be? Retas as steam? No.
I think you're right, stream.
All right, so here we are at the end of this beautiful hymn. This hymn was difficult for some reason, and the imagery is difficult and unknown. I started to kind of, it's easier. Other hymns are easier. This one is somehow very cryptic. Not everything is clear. Though the words are clear, but the whole flow of meaning is somehow cryptic. Yeah.
How do you get the Dam Sanab Bhio? Dam Sanab here?
Yeah, it's a deconstruction of the rhythm, yeah, because this
Oh.
bhiach is the ending, yes.
So it's a plural. So it's a plural
Right.
ending.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a plural ending from Damsanas, from his,
Okay.
yeah. And bhiach because of the meter. Whenever we have these samprasaranas, these kind of, when you have e plus, when you have ya or va, usually it can be deconstructed into two syllables, like suar from svar, yes? Damsana bhiyo from damsana bhiach. When the meter requires one more syllable, that is where we are coming to these some prasaranas and undo them so we get the flow of the meter. Actually, this
Right.
is the deconstruction which was done by the Harvard University. I'm still using it. Sometimes, very rare, like 10%, I don't agree with their deconstruction, and so I do my own and undo some other samprasarana. Yeah? Suapasyaya, yes, they do. Arinat ekach suapasyaya kavich, which is nice. Suapasyaya. But could be differently done. Swapasiyaya, yeah, but it is a heavier. Better suapasyaya. It's more natural. Suapasya.
Yeah.
You will be
So
doing
then
also.
Damsana
Yeah.
Damsana is then feminine then.
Yes,
Should be.
damsana. By the way, all these words can be in 3 different genders. Usually they are freely choosing the gender for some reason. Most probably not totally freely. There is a meaning loaded into it. When that is feminine gender means this is the Shakti's action of Vaishvanara. He's Shaktis. All right. Any other thoughts on this cryptic hymn?
I have a question about verse 6, where in the translation, swift is capitalized, and I think it's a noun.
Right.
What struck me, and it might be just a matter of translation because I'm not familiar with the Sanskrit, but a swift is also a bird.
Oh.
And it started my mind thinking about, because the Holy Spirit is also characterized as a bird. So it got me thinking of Agni and the Holy Spirit through the rest of the hymn.
Right.
But I didn't know whether that word that Sri Aurobindo translates as swift, it just means quick, or okay.
Usually swift is quick, and for example, Ashwa, he often translates as swiftnesses, Ashwa, yes, as swiftnesses of the spirit. So it's an interesting, very spiritual kind of term for the spirit to be immediate in his action, yes. without delay, or at least speedy in his application. So these forces of the spirit ashvas are of that swiftnesses. They're swiftnesses of, and that's why they pull the chariot, chariot in which the deity is there, like Agni sits in the chariot, or Indra, and he has horses or swiftnesses which can carry him anywhere he wants very quickly. There is certain delay there. That's why swiftness is most probably, it's not an immediate, because immediate is only Brahman. We see it in Isha Upanishad, where it is said that the gods run after him and cannot reach him because he is actually immobile. He is unmoving faster than them, because they try to reach him, and with their speed, they can never reach him. It's like a carrot in front of the donkey, so it's always there. So however speedy you run, you will not reach the carrot. So this is something of the kind. But speed is the property of the mentality of the mind, I think. Mind has a very high speed, and it's always compared with the mind, speed and mind. So if you even try with your mind to measure the speed of the mind, you will see that it has a certain delay. It's not immediate. Thought has a delay. It's interesting. In time. You just experience it. You try to think something. You will feel, oh, there is a gap. You have to cross the gap. You always have to reach out, as it were.
Is the gap the thought, or is the gap the word?
The gap is the space which is separating your activity of consciousness in this time and space manifestation. So in this manifestation, there is always a delay of the action of consciousness, and the delay is manifested in the way of thinking. Even if you look at the stars, I was kind of trying to do this when I was younger. Look at the stars and try to reach them with their thought. You will feel that it takes like a second or half a second. You cannot totally immediately reach even the star with your thought, which you see with your eyes. So there will be a delay even in there, not to say in your own thinking. There's a constant delay. But it is a very speedy action of consciousness. Thought is a speedy and very powerful action, but with a delay. And the higher we come, the less delay is there. And when we reach to the supermind, to the supramental thought, there is no delay anymore. In supramental thought, the thought is immediately effective, but immediately because there is no time there. So everything what you think is embodied in a particular form immediately. You get what you think you have. What you have, you think, with no delay. Here, it's always a delay. You think first, and then you try to make it, and it will take a long time to get there.
I guess what I'm asking is that because we think in language? Is it possible to perceive non-verbally and then we have to translate into a word? Is that the delay?
And language is also a part of the same process. We think because of language. I think language is a part of the same delay, which is the cause of language being delayed. Not that language creates the delay. Nietzsche, actually, what you say, Nietzsche thought the same way, that because of language we have a delay. And but it is, truly speaking, delay is there by default, which is projected into language, into thinking, into seeing. Notice delay in seeing. When you move your eyes to some object, any object, you will feel the delay. Half a moment is a delay. Just look at anything, just to see it fully. You will feel whoom, whoom, whoom. It's like it's a subjective feeling. It's an amazing thing.
So you're saying it in order to apprehend in any way, there's a delay between the reality and when you're able to
Yeah,
hold on to it in some way.
Right.
Okay.
This is the delay in the mind, absolutely. The same delay in the speech, the same delay in the hearing, because we are in this gap. We are not one. Yeah, you are there, I'm here, and we are actually one, but we are not one, and that is the delay.
Vladimir,
Mm.
Vladimir, so this thing that you're calling delay or let's say lag, isn't this also the thing that really builds the world? Because it is due to this lag that we have persistence and things stay and they become solid.
Yeah,
And we have things like memory because we are able to sort of like draw lines on water and we have a form and shape and everything.
yeah, it's all due to this delay. You know, this delay is beautifully described in this myth of creation, where Indra and Brihaspati were together. This is the myth which we know very well. Indra was the first student of Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the lord of the divine word. He was the teacher of the gods. He was teaching them Sanskrit, by the way. First Sanskrit teacher was Brihaspati. And his first student was Indra, the lord of the divine mind, who creates the delay. And from him, he received the Sanskrit, but he noticed that whatever Brihaspati says is actually actual with truth, you know. So that means in his flow, infinite flow of speech, there is no end. So whatever he says, it is there actual. Yeah? So how can he master Sanskrit? He couldn't master Sanskrit because it is infinite. He should sit in front at the feet of Brihaspati forever, you know, because there is no end to the expression of the infinity in truth. They are actual, they are immediate. There is no delay. So what he did, it's interesting, he stopped the flow of Brihaspati's speech, cut it into pieces, grams, and created grammar. So what he did, he created by the mental categories of subject, object, time, space, yeah, modalities, he mastered that substance of Brihaspati's word, which was infinite and identical with the truth. He created words, he created alphabet, Varnamala, cut it into pieces, sounds, composed and recomposed them into the words, into the sentences, into the texts. So now you can master the reality of the word without being actual with the truth. Now you can lie, finally. You can apply the truth to any context you want, even there where it doesn't fit. And that is the delay. That creates time and space, the gap. Now, in this gap, you can apply the truth into many different contexts. Somewhere it fits, somewhere it doesn't fit. But that's the game. That's the multitude creation. That's the gap between us now. And through language, through grammar, we recompose the oneness. We recompose the unity, constantly recomposing. You know? Because it is there implied in Brihaspati's word, but it has to be recaptured here in time and space. This is a beautiful myth which explains that delay by the mind. Grammar is the delay. It's a very interesting type of delay. Yes? It is very categorical, very clearly made, cut. So that's why we study grammar. We want to see how it works, how it recaptures the unity. And the moment we recapture the unity, we understand the meaning. Yeah, we have to recapture the unity every time in every sentence. Otherwise, we would never be able to understand anything. All right. Okay, we can stop here for today and take next time another hymn. I will close with mantra. Om Sarve Bhavanto Sukhinah Sarve Santo Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. See you next time.